Out of all the doom scrolling that I do on social media or on discussion forums like Stack Overflow or Discourse or some such thing, I've realized that the most exciting is LinkedIn because it invokes in me a very large spectrum of emotions typically. It can be outright amusing, hysterical, hilarious. It can be extremely annoying at times. It can also be pretty fun. It can be hopeful. It can, make you feel good about a few things and terrible about some others. One of the resolutions that I have this year is whatever provokes an extreme reaction in me, I've decided to be a little more mindful about it. I've decided that I'm going to write more about things that trigger me. I'm going to write more or explore or, basically deeply think about things that make me happy and maybe reverse engineer the process perhaps, and maybe try and break it down into parts and see why it is that I feel triggered by certain pieces of content or why it is that I feel angry at certain things, why it is that I feel indignation at certain things. And of course, the same is true for the positive spectrum of emotions as well. So that's exactly what I'm going to do now. I'm really bored and I'm going to scroll through LinkedIn. And as I do that, I am going to record my reactions. So let's begin. All right, so here we are. It's a Sunday afternoon. God knows what sort of stuff is live on LinkedIn right now, but let's take a look. And I'm sure, like most other social media websites, the content on LinkedIn it changes depending on what day of the week or what time it is. And I'm pretty sure there are a bunch of preference tweaks that I can do which show me latest content first or preferred content first and so on. But whatever, we'll optimize that when we come to it. Right now, I'm just going to scroll through and see. So, okay. Something says unmarried couples no longer welcome. No surprises there. Oyo changes check-in rules. Yeah, okay. Somebody finds this insightful. That's fantastic. Don't bite the hand that writes your paycheck. Yeah, true, true. Yeah, I don't feel one way or another about this. Unmarried couples should be welcome everywhere, of course. Activity-based learning, challenges and opportunities. Thanks to blah 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 for sharing this. Okay, there's an international conference on activity-based learning challenges and opportunities to explore innovative methodologies in language learning and activity-based approaches aligned with the Vision Vikasit Bharat 2047. Interesting. Although it's weird that, how everything is Vikasit Bharat 2047. Nobody seems to be planning for the next 5 years or 10 years or something. It's like the planning is always 2047. A great man once said that in the long run, we are all dead. Now we know what it means. If you're going to plan for 50 years ahead, in the long run, we are all dead. What good is that to me? One of the best parts of working remotely is that taking a break is just a short walk away. When I start feeling stuck or need a mental reset, I step outside for a quick stroll, whether it's a walk in the neighborhood or around the block. It's amazing how just a few minutes away from my desk can help me refocus. This is true. In fact, if you have a walking area nearby, it could be near your office, it could be near your home or wherever you work from. Taking a walk is easily the most therapeutic de-stressor that we have. And of course, if you have a dog, even better. You can take the dog for walks. ML interviews often ask maximum likelihood. Do they? First of all, what is maximum likelihood? It is maximum likelihood estimation. And secondly, I don't think ML interviews simply ask maximum likelihood. They ask you to design maximum likelihood estimators for something specific. I myself have failed this twice. For an intuitive way to grasp this, a link and another link, one of which is a YouTube video. Hmm. Interesting. I think maximum likelihood estimation is pretty pervasive. And while I myself wouldn't ask people these sort of questions in an interview, but nevertheless, it's something that you ought to know about. So do take a look at these links if and when you can. Paris generates clean energy from metro passengers. The award-winning blah 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 shared this economic World Economic Forum video. Clean energy from metro passengers. That's interesting. How would you do that? Let's take a look. As each passenger passed through these turnstiles, the turbines converted their movement into green energy. 27,000 passengers used the turnstiles. Each passenger generated zero point 0.2 watts of energy. Could one of you do the math and figure out whether this is actually sustainable? Or how many passengers would you need to walk through the turnstiles per unit time to keep, let's say, a bulb running for 20 hours a day or something like that? If some one of you could do the math and post your answers in the comments, that'll be great. All right, this looks interesting, pretty innovative. Seven things your boss won't tell you, but you should know. Okay. Listicles are my favorite things about LinkedIn. Um, they try to compile truisms into, well, some of them could be good, of course, but most of them simply try to compile a bunch of cliches into a list, and just because it's a list, you're suddenly paying attention, right? Let's see. Seven things your boss won't tell you, but you should know. They notice more than you think. Yeah, I wish my boss did not tell me that they noticed because okay, I've had bosses that are super perceptive. They certainly notice a lot. Small things like being late or missing deadlines don't go unnoticed. Consistency matters. Casual remarks, yes, they remember that too. They want solutions, not just problems. Huh? This I don't really agree with. I've had bosses that have wanted problems and not solutions. But of course, that's extremely context dependent. I'm being unnecessarily harsh on this lady here. They value initiative over compliance. Not sure what that means. Doing what's asked is the bare minimum. True. Take initiative, go beyond the task list. True. Volunteer, pitch new ideas, show you're here to grow, not coast. Point number three, I'd be a bit gray on because you need bosses that are receptive to that sort of stuff. They expect you to understand the bigger picture. Yeah, absolutely. And it's not about what they expect. You need to understand the bigger picture for yourself. You need to understand that if you're going to be a cog in a machine, what the machine looks like at least, right? They won't say thank you for everything. They should, because it's just polite. They notice how you treat others. No, they don't. Many bosses don't. They expect you to keep growing. No, they don't. Here's the thing, many bosses are probably not even in the position to offer the kind of growth that you deserve. So even if they expect you to keep growing, there's not much that, if there isn't much that they can do about it, there's no point. All right. No, cool. Not bad. Amar Chitrakatha announces the Readathon initiative to encourage children to read books. If you're interested in getting your child's school to participate, or you're a principal educationist wishing for your school, okay, this is pretty good. I've enjoyed a lot of Amar Chitrakatha back in the day. I'm proud to share that our office successfully intervened to protect a historic place of prayer in Mehroli from demolition. The DDA had sought to remove the structure, but thanks to our efforts, it has now been recognized as protected by the ASI and awaits further orders from SC. That's great. That's great. What is worrying about this is that regardless of what the SC says or a given High Court says, people are a little bulldozer happy. So let's hope whatever the structure is, it stays. Wonderful. Deep learning interview book. Okay, a book entirely about interviews. Hmm. Maybe read a real book, perhaps like maybe a deep learning book itself, you know. So you'll read the book about the interviews, but not book about deep learning. Of course, books about deep learning would be textbooks, and textbooks are not meant to be read as novels. You read them when you get stuck or when you want to look up something very specific and so on. So yeah, but there are some very readable books on deep learning as well, like those written by Ethan Mollick, for example, or there's a new book called The AI Snake Oil, the one written by Gary Marcus. So there's a bunch of very nice. There's one by Brian Christian called The Alignment Problem. So those are pretty interesting, not just deep learning, but general AI books. Very much worth reading. But let's get back to the deep learning interview book. Hundreds of fully solved. Oh God. If you're going to give me fully solved interview questions, like what? Am I supposed to mug them up? What's the point? And okay, here's the thing. If this book exists, which contains hundreds of fully solved interview questions, what stops the interviewers from simply not asking those questions? And then what's your book worth? Okay. Anyway, I mean, that's my first visceral reaction without clicking on the more button over here. So let's see what it really entails. Huh? Categorized into kindergarten, high school, bachelors. Know the most typical interview questions on DL. Which kindergartner knows about DL or is even supposed to? I don't get this. Real world deep learning interview problems and solutions. Okay, this is a bit bizarre. I'm so used to hearing things like real world deep learning problems and solutions. Now this is real world deep learning interview problems. Okay, I don't know if this is somebody trolling us or it's a real thing, but yeah, sad. A little bit funny, but still sad. Visualizing a SQL query. SQL statements are executed by the database in several steps, blah, blah, blah. Parsing the sentence, transforming it into an internal representation, optimizing the internal representation, and creating an execution plan that okay, subscribe to our weekly newsletter. Okay, SQL query logical order. Okay, so here's the query. Hmm. So, okay, how am I supposed to read this visual? The first phrase of the query is select column A, B. This flows into something. Then from flows, acha, T1, T2 are tables. Okay. So from join on something. Okay, I give up. This is certainly one visualization that isn't making things easier. I'm pretty sure better visualization could be drawn, but anyway, full marks for effort for what it's worth. Right. 151 trading strategies, 361 page complete book, 117,500 plus downloads. It's free. Okay, cool. Thank you. 361 page complete book. Oh, wow, must take a lot of effort to write 300 odd pages on this sort of stuff. I don't know. I'm just randomly clicking through the pages to see if there's some semblance of sense I can make out of it. But clearly not. I don't know the A of algorithmic trading. Recently had a very bad online experience and I want to share it. The story might help you understand why people charge for mentorship sessions. A person who claims to be an MBA aspirant booked a mentorship session through topmate.io. Before the session, they sent me a long request on Instagram. First big flag. Why do people reach out on Instagram when the conversation is supposed to take place on Topmate? This is, it's just bad manners to do this. If I want to get somebody's help through Topmate, I should probably talk to them through Topmate. Why? I mean, I don't know. It's creepy. It maybe amounts to stalking because I have to look you up on Instagram or Facebook or whatever it is and send you a message there. Why? Okay. Outlining how and what I should read about their profile and a list of do's and don'ts. Do this so that money and my time isn't wasted. Oh God. If somebody sent me that message, I would just ask them to piss off. Okay. It felt disrespectful. Absolutely. Yeah, it is disrespectful. Even before I had a chance to engage. After the session, this person said he had more questions and suggested connecting on Instagram. See, this is creepy stalker behavior. What nonsense? Do this so that my money and time isn't wasted. Stop sending me messages on Instagram so that my privacy isn't violated. My time isn't wasted. Come on the session. Come on the top mate session. I was hit with a 1 star rating. Yep, yep, yep. This is just, it reminds me of that Black Mirror episode where everything and everyone is rated on a scale of 5 stars. And what happens when a person's rating starts reducing and it goes into free fall later. I think Bryce Dallas Howard starred in that episode. Beautiful episode. Crazy. It's mind blowing episode, but nice episode nevertheless. That wasn't the end of it. The message request on IG story started flooding in. If you don't reply soon, I'll keep booking sessions and leave bad reviews. This is harassment, plain and simple. It was clear this person was manipulating the system for attention, not seeking meaningful guidance, and so on. Okay, Topmate should certainly throw this person out. Charging for mentorship is not lootna. No, good mentorship needs to be paid for. I mean, when I say paid for, it could be in cash or in any other way, or uh, you could be trading favors for whatever what it's worth. But yeah, it's not free. Topmate should perhaps do a better job of screening their candidates and take a hard look at who is qualified to rate a mentor on their platform. Book read recommendation. If any of you are looking for recommendations to read a good book, please consider this one. My friend gifted it to me. Three plus generations of Tatas have done more for India than any others. Unimaginable vision across diverse fields, blah blah blah. Okay. Tata Stories 40 Timeless Tales to Inspire You by Harish Bhatt. Okay, interesting. There are many, well, I wouldn't say many, but I've certainly heard of a few good books about the Tata Trusts. I think there is one called The Heartbeat of a Trust, which is about the Dorabji Tata Trust. There's, of course, Ratan Tata's work and his biographies. But a lot of, may again, not a lot, but certainly some very good books have been written about the trusts that are under Tata Sons and how they operate and how they work and so on, and how it's so unlike conventional corporates. Deep conversations with the right people are truly priceless. Yes, they are. Realized this during my insightful dialogue with Anaita about the journey of pursuing AI for the front line. Hmm, good. From Ashas to A&Ms and beyond, women are at the heart of India's public health landscape. Absolutely. But when women also shape the technology behind it, the impact becomes extraordinary. In this episode of STEM Powered from the BMGF, joins so and so, National Program Lead for MNCH and Advocacy at Vadwani. Yeah, yeah. They are doing some pretty good work in public health, right? Got my new young faculty, Dr. So and so, deeply engrossed in his work at Tapovanam. Kiosks in the jungle on my campus where you get Wi-Fi, fan, power. Wow. Unlimited supply of tea to study, research or topic. At the age of 35, Professor Mano has already more than 30 publications with two ABCDA papers and so on. Blah, blah, blah. You can probably tell that the blurring isn't very accurate. So I wrote a browser extension which blurs out all of the personally identifiable information on LinkedIn, but clearly there are some bugs to be fixed. It doesn't blur out all pieces of PII, but then that's fine because these posts are generally public anyway. High detail 3D mesh model for visual inspection. So good. You can read the serial numbers. Oh, okay. Pretty cool. Just a couple of weeks back, I was studying SRGAN, Super Resolution Generative Adversarial Networks, which denoise an image and increase it to a multi-resolution, oh, sorry, not multi-resolution, but a super resolution image. They can maybe increase the resolution of an image by 4x or so. I wonder if some of that is at play here. Hmm. Here's a playbook for incumbents to win. Interesting. Recognize that you have a distribution advantage, but an innovation disadvantage because you face the innovator's dilemma. Strong pull to do the predictably profitable things. It's hard to pick exactly how a big tech paradigm shift is going to play out, so have several bets on the table. Resist the temptation to reject all the possible things that are not proven yet. Once it's clear that I'm already bored. What would be really cool if there were some examples about what this fellow is trying to say? By the way, when I say fellow, I mean it in a general sense. I don't know whether this is a he or she or what are their preferred pronouns and so on. So when I say fellow, I just mean person. Okay. Growing Global Governance Initiative, our sixth review. Okay, great. Congratulations. Curated a lovely NY Times article shared by my classmate Priya on possible magic that can, or rather needs to happen in schools, colleges by giving students meaningful freedom rather than forcing information on them. Giving kids some autonomy has surprising results. Yeah, who knew? Data from the World Bank on the growth of per capita income in India over time feels good to see a rising curve. See the impact of the 1991 reforms. It took almost a decade for the impact on average incomes. Here is hoping that the reforms for the past few years will take lesser time to show up in the incomes. Hmm. So this is roughly 1991, and it takes a decade, which means that up to 2004, what they're talking about an impact of about what, point 0.1, $100? That doesn't make sense. If the reforms happened in 1991 and it took almost a decade for the impact of the average incomes to be visible, then we are starting a little bit over here and we are ending a little bit over here. That's not much of a growth. So basically, even in a, I mean, by your own logic, even in a decade, the impact wasn't high on the GDP per capita as such. GDP overall could obviously have increased. Hmm. See, that's why phrase sentences like impact almost a decade, average incomes. You need to be a lot more specific and careful about what you mean. Otherwise, the chart and what you say, it can be interpreted in any which way. It can be misinterpreted more frequently than it is interpreted correctly. He is hoping that the reforms of the past few years will take lesser time to show up in the incomes. What are the reforms in the past few years? Hmm. And this is also a little funny. Feels good to see a rising curve. Thing is that rising curves are the default. They are not the exception, really. It's nothing great. I'm not saying you shouldn't feel good about it, but that's the very least you can expect from the market. That's the very least you can expect from the government or the economy or yourself. The question is how fast it is rising, right? Yeah. After 20 years of building businesses, it's time to retire. Earlier this year, Endless Gain, the company I founded, successfully integrated into Columbus Global. Blessings and love, Neil. Congratulations, sir. Enjoy your retirement. Hey, so and so. I didn't think I could love Replit any more than I already do, but I was wrong. The new AI feature is amazing and actually works, using it for a school project with my son. I also love that it defaults to Python Flask for web app generation. Thanks for building this. Yeah, Replit is pretty cool. In fact, even when I tried it out for the first time for a full-fledged end-to-end project with deployment included, it was a little clunky, but I was still surprised by how cloud native it seemed. It's like everything that you needed to fully deploy a Flask application, a full stack application, was there in Replit. You didn't need to jump through too many hoops at all. And yeah, it was smart. It was able to figure out requirements and runtime errors and logging and all of that. It was pretty good. If you're working on AI voice, TTS, or other B2B startup ideas, please stay away from AI recruitment automation. Very interesting, because that's exactly the sort of stuff that people would want to attack first. You will make much more money if you apply the same for solving for marketing and same steals inside an org. Just stay away from talent acquisition. You will thank me later. Why? Let's see what the comments are. Trying to tell this to people, but it's why sourcing is a seasonal and service business. Why, though, a few AI voice SDR firms who have told me recruitment is a big dollar earner. Wait for the first hard time to come. Dollars are removed from TFO. Okay. Is the last department in the org to get budget. Tech gets first, then sales and marketing, then office space, and then they give money to TA. Interesting. In my experience, it is the sales and marketing that gets a lot of money. Tech gets, you know, the next tier. I don't know how much money TA gets. Anyway, source post so and so shared by Vidya L. Shri so and so G in the snippet shares the benefits of chanting Vishnu Sahasranama in curing different diseases is documented in many scriptures, including Bhanavattas, Kadambari, blah blah blah, and others. Some examples include Sukha Pravasam, normal delivery, curing respiratory ailments, urinary kidney problems, high fever. Love to see a controlled trial. Anyway, I guess really not my job to argue for or against this right now. But I guess I'll leave it by saying that the scientific method exists for a reason. If you can chant Vishnu Sahasranama and cure Delhi's pollution, there would hardly be any problems. And your my respiratory ailments or my mother-in-law's or my father's respiratory ailments are because of the pollution. Gartner hiring for business analyst role, 0 to 3 years overall experience in any related field, full-time graduation. Full-time graduation? Oh, okay, like not some half-cooked course. Technical and non-technical backgrounds can apply. Services business, 0 to 3 years of overall experience, full-time 2 years MBA PGDM, experience in strategies and business operations is an added advantage. Within the required experience range, are encouraged to apply. Where's the job description? LinkedIn Premium at discounted price. Why is this fellow or this person selling LinkedIn Premium at discounted price in a job post? Why is there an HR email list in the job post? Well, there's already the email that you need over here. WhatsApp job was okay. This is a little bizarre. Or maybe this person is just an influencer who's sort of plugging his own stuff along with somebody else's stuff. That could be the case. But generally, I wonder if that adds more to the That adds more noise to the signal than you should have in it. Three myths of MBA. You become rich after MBA. No, that is true. It's certainly a myth. In reality, just after you don't become rich after any specific degree or anything like that. In reality, just after MBA, your condition is very similar to daily. Okay, this is the other. See, this is why I love giving my reactions first, then clicking on the more button to see that it was anticlimactic to begin with, right? In reality, or just after your MBA, your condition is very similar to a daily laborer. Boss, you have no idea what a daily laborer does. Okay, shut up. Daily laborers break their backs literally. Their skeletons are deformed for life. Okay, so do not talk like this. It's just annoying. And on one hand, you have people like Narayan Murthy saying that you should work 70 hours a day, and you compare that with daily laborers. You say, no, this is what is going to happen right out after your MBA. What nonsense. The sequence of events. Consider your salary is X, 30% tax. Oh God. All about, so okay, so this whole thing is about tax and not about the laborer part of daily laborers. It's brilliant, huh? The way people think. 0.05x तो डेली लेबरर भी सेव कर लेता है, तुमको क्या पता है यार? I see ignorance and privilege when they meet each other. It's just second myth. You become executives. No, you don't become executive post MBA. You become PPT maker of the executives. Hmm, that could be true. Is that such a bad thing though? Because if it's going to be your first job, if it's a perfectly reasonable thing to say, if I had an MBA from a good college and if I realized, even if nobody told me in so many words that my job was just to make PPTs, what I would probably do is, okay, I'm going to make the best PPTs in the entire company for 6 months, then I'm going to quit my job. Yeah, I know. It's one perspective. Maybe people have different goals when they do their MBAs. You choose your job post your MBA. No, just like engineering, in which company you are shortlisted and selected, you can join the company. You don't choose the company, company chooses you. That's always true. Company, I mean, it's not one or another, both have to be true, right? It's a matchmaking exercise after all. Anyway, but yeah, what really pissed me off is this part. Like, dude, you have no idea. You're complaining about being taxed and all, which, by the way, I agree is terrible. But come on, have some dignity. While I agree with your emotions, I feel the first point is not only accurate, but also reeks of privilege. Yes. Nobody asks you to spend 0.2x on rent. It's a privilege you can afford and choose to rear whistle with that. As far as the comparison is concerned, I'm a bit appalled. Could have cited the ROI from this job versus undergraduate, but necessarily bringing lower feels like mockery to them. Yep. Exactly my point. Glad somebody said it. Don't wait for the deadline to surprise you. Enroll yourself now. Yeah, Tom and Jerry just momentarily became unfunny. I don't know who to blame, myself or NPTEL. Introducing my new startup Doji, a fun new way to shop for fashion online. Until now, it's never been possible to try on clothes when shopping online, making it hard to know what looks good on you. Interesting. But I thought something like this already existed. Or maybe they might have some distinguishing features, who knows? Certainly worth a shot if I was the kind to shop online. But I'm sure my wife would love this. In India, a man has to die to prove he is innocent. A woman has to only cry to destroy someone. Do not simply go to that extreme just yet. The death of Atul is really heart-wrenching. It is. There are many Atuls who prefer not to speak and suffer silently. There are. The below conversationally clearly shows a gender biased law gives right to a woman to destroy a family. Sweeping generalization. Then he or she, I'm assuming it's a he because of the tone of the message. Not about all women, but if it hurts you, you are the one. What? It hurts me and I'm not the woman. And this is, I think any sensible person will realize that this entire debate around Atul's death has taken two extremes. And people are so busy talking about these two extremes that the real issue is sort of getting, swallowed in that noise. And here's the thing, like, why come to LinkedIn and talk about this? Okay, let me take that back. Why not? You have an opinion, you get to say it, sure. Anyway, found this on an SDR company's pricing page. Company founder says they do 300K year on Twitter. Note the services tab, that's 10x of the SaaS pricing, which is 99 per month. Do it for you has always been around. Now they are cool again. I don't understand this. Quant trading alpha. Okay, there is a really weird. Is this Lisp for Haskell? I think one of those two languages has like a lot of brackets, right? 101 formulaic alphas. Okay, cool. Enhance your leadership and analytical skills with our management courses. Yeah, okay, another advertisement. We are hiring for several. Oops, bump my mic. Hope this is better again. We are hiring for several SWE Bay roles, hybrid, 3 days in office, Menlo Park, blah blah blah. If you're a full stack backend or ML engineer with at least 2 years of experience, please DM me. It's for Meta. Okay, this should be fun. Do the most meaningful work of your career. Yep. Certainly worth a shot. If you are in somewhere in those areas. As the year draws to a close, we want to take a moment to express our gratitude to all our employees, collaborators, investors, and well-wishers for the shared experience of the last year. Happy New Year to you too. LinkedIn has become the kind of platform where people claim other platforms are better than LinkedIn for jobs and post the links of other portals on LinkedIn, blaming LinkedIn is not good for connections, job search, or reach on LinkedIn, so that it could reach him. Clearly, this person feels very strongly about this. And I kind of agree. Yeah. Well, why is LinkedIn itself tagged 5 times in this post? A funny things just happened. An English dude just told a Bengali friend the food was terrible. Before my Bengali friend who cooked the meal could even react with shock or confusion, I stepped in. That humor works in Manchester. People, oh, I see. They were being sarcastic. People in India don't get it. My friend had his mouth open, still grasping what is happening. The dude realized what I was, what I just pointed out and said, "Ah, you see, the plate is finished. I enjoyed it." But this is a joke to say I didn't enjoy it. Okay, I don't get the joke. And my Bengali friend began to nod. His anger began to dissipate. I just saved this Englishman from a nasty incident. What nasty incident? You don't insult Bengali hospitality. Okay, you don't insult anybody's hospitality, but what would happen if you did insult Bengali hospitality? By the way, I just attended a Bengali wedding a couple of weeks back. Fantastic food. And I'm not likely to insult a Bengali's hospitality either. But what, again, what's the nasty incident over here? Just to make it easy for Mr. Manchester, I said it is okay. A lot of English humor does not translate in India, Middle East, or Latin America. He agreed with me saying, yeah, I think we should do less of it in England too, with a wink. Why? If it works there, do it. Okay. Not, I mean, I don't know how I feel about all of that. Hello, connections. Hiring data engineers at Deloitte, location Bangalore, experience. Okay. Another weird thing about job posts. What kind of a job are you? What kind of job is it where you need candidates who can have experiences anywhere from 1 to 8 years? Like if somebody has 8 years of experience in ETL, SQL data warehouses, and data modeling, uh, shouldn't you perhaps not be hiring that person because if you've spent 8 years working and this is all you know, then doesn't that mean that you're either, not very competent perhaps? Anyhow, immediate joiners who can join us within 30 days are encouraged to mail. Yeah, of course, everybody wants immediate joiners, don't they? New post on my Simple AI newsletter, which now has over 200,000 subscribers. Post is about thinking through your brand and how it is viewed through the eyes of Chat. What? Okay. Which hundreds of millions of people use now for all sorts of things, including products and service recommendations. Hmm. I'm going to actually read this. This seems interesting. But anyway, I'll leave that for later. How much more can we speak on this? Another 17 years? The only way some of these Fortune 500 companies will adapt to the shift is through pain. It's time to get serious. I think this is Gary Vaynerchuk, if I'm not wrong. Area of transformation, collaboration, and growth. Okay, all the PII hacking and all I do, somebody's photo just shows up like that. I can't do anything about it. But yeah, this is Mr. Suraj, and I've met him on a few occasions. Great guy. Brilliant caption. Great opportunity. What is great about it? Maybe, I don't know, few more characters. Excellent opportunity for an executive director in our Plano TX location. Apply today. And there is this entire essay after that. And instead of summarizing this essay, this person just said great opportunity, if you say so. Whether you're the sort of person who makes New Year's resolutions or not, the New Year is a great time to think about our well being and whether our habits and routines are supporting our life and work. If you find yourself needing to make some changes, the great thing is they don't need to be big. What's one micro step you're starting 2025 with? Okay, all of those are scary. I cannot turn off my notifications. Let yourself be bored, and I can do. Yeah. Replace scrolling with reading? No, not really. You know what I'm doing right now. There's enough time for reading, so no problem. I guess yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, none of those people are going to do that. So I hope not. I hope all of them do it, of course. On managing product managers, and oh God, managing product managers, I'm already bored. Save this, please. 13 videos, 75 minutes on managing product manage. Oh God, no, 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 no. Oh, I need a drink. Thanks all. Join Career Talk today and 250 participants for joining the challenge. I'm putting a lot of effort to making this success, and thanks for your positive feedback. The best way to learn is to execute. True, it is. Proud to represent Idea Forge and showcase India's innovation at GeoSmart 2024. All right, very nice. Pretty unbelievable way to start 2025. Something stopped by Grandbot site. I can fully attribute this to my recent podcast, but I can tell you this is an incredible way to ring in the new year. Seeing someone like Dharmesh Shah take interest is a very fun sign of encouragement. Hmm. Okay. Stuck in the course conundrum. Let's fix it. Imagine this. You're building a sleek app. Everything's running so that until your browser throws the dreaded block by course policy. Your fetch request hits a wall, leaving you frustrated. Course is a browser's way of ensuring security, but debugging it doesn't have to be a nightmare. I'll tackle it step by step. Check the console, identify the cause. Server-side solutions handle credentials, client-side workarounds, use a proxy, enable cores in your dev server. How is this a client-side thing? Okay. Pre-fight requests, cores errors may feel like a... Okay. Continuing my annual 3 top learnings at Google Post. Post what? At Google. Okay, this post. That's a good way to kick off 2025. Was a transformational year. But anyway, top 3 learnings. Keep it simple. Shun the jargon. Stick to objective facts and yes and no answers. Learn to let some fires burn. As we grow, outputs will increasingly seem dependent on multiple factors outside direct control. Even if there is control, there would be so much to do which may not be humanly possible. Choose your battles wisely. Use 80 to 20 Pareto. That's good advice. You can't control everything. Whatever limited energy and time you have, best to spend it on the things that you know reasonably well will give you good results. World is changing faster than we imagined. So keep trying out AI tools. Read what AI focused companies and startups are doing. Think about what professions would be top 5, 10 years from now. Will you be relevant if you don't adapt? Interesting. Also, maybe just carve out perhaps a plan or a path for yourself for the top next 5, 10 years. That would be a little more practical than think about what professions would be on top 5, 10 years. Anyhow, good for him. He seems very happy. It's nice. Recently joined Myntra, Flipkart, and also cracked offers. Okay, cracked offers from other top companies along the way. Since then, many students and professionals have reached out asking how to prepare for such opportunities. To make it easier for everyone, I'm sharing a simple and effective roadmap. Okay, let's see whether it is simple and effective. That will be helpful for sure. Okay. Master one programming language, thoroughly prepare DSA, build strong fundamentals in OSC and DBMS, focus more on DBMS basic SQL, add high 3 quality relevant projects to your resume. I'm telling you what's going to happen. There'll be one project on Kaggle, one project on Angular or React or something like that, and one project that does deep learning where the problem statement is given by one of your professors. Create an ATS compliant. What is an ATS compliant resume? Do you know? With the right keywords. Learn GitHub basics and contribute. Do not do this, please, guys. Do not contribute to open source projects for the sake of doing that. There's a brilliant video on why you shouldn't contribute to open source projects for the sake of doing that. I'll put the link down in the description. Participate in hackathons. Yes, that's a good idea, but only if you have time and don't go out of your way to do this. Build a strong LinkedIn profile. Please do. I'd love to see it. It's your online resume. No, it's not. But yeah, no, it is. It is your online resume. Yes. Please build a good LinkedIn profile. I'd love to see it. Guys are in a personal guidance program where me and my blah 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 mentor, very limited students batch to crack the SD interviews. We will guide you from the very scratch, learning programming language, DSA, computer, oh God, projects creation, and at the end, job hunting templates and tricks. Okay, this was for freshers, by the way, what we just read. For experienced, deeply master one programming language, solve DSA problems, lead code, need code. Mm, yeah, guys, don't do that. Competitive programmers actually make very bad software developers or engineers in general. In general, conditions apply. Learn LLD. What is LLD? Practice 15-20 problems using design patterns and solid. Showcase your work experience by detailing the problem, solution, impact, and tech stack. Understand microservices, APIs, DBMS concepts, concurrency, and multi-threading. Yeah, well, true. Prepare every detail on your resume thoroughly. Interviews are resume driven. They don't have to be. They really don't have to be. They are they are resume driven because you make them resume driven. Add relevant tech projects if you have unrelated experience. Hmm, I don't get that. How can you add relevant tech projects if you have unrelated experience? Keep your LinkedIn pro. I guess I perhaps have to go through the personal guidance program to figure that out. Keep your LinkedIn profile updated. It's essential. I hope this roadmap helps you. Do let me know in the comments if you have any questions. In the next post, I will be sharing the best resources for you to get started with this roadmap. So stay tuned. Sharing my joining kit pics to motivate you even more. Right, let's see the joining kit pics. So PayPal and Myntra, interesting. Oh, yeah, the kit's not bad really. Except the headphones are Zebronics. Could have done better, right? Anyway, I guess that's good enough for today. So I'll wait for the next post, and when it comes, we'll perhaps record another video. See you soon.